Well, morning everyone. There's actually a bit of sunshine, but it's still pretty fresh. It's a fresh easterly, southeasterly breeze, but at least there's a bit of sun. But anyway, today it's final prep day. The van's being loaded because we're off to France again. It's April, second week in April. Look at the state of it. It's absolutely rammed to the gunnels with just about anything and everything, because quite apart from being a fabulous time of year to travel in April to France, we're also going over to see our brand new grandson. Fantastic. Cannot wait for Pappy cuddles. Pappy being of course the French version of Grandad. Doesn't feel quite as old, Pappy, I don't think. But anyway, thoroughly looking forward to that. And as you can see, most of the stuff in here is for old toys, you name it, Duplo, Lego, toys, books, games, all of the stuff that a brand new grandson is going to need. Very important things. They've been in the loft for years, no doubt, and it's finally time to pass them on. Absolutely fabulous. So the garages are full, the lockers are all full, the underfloor storage is full, crock collection under there. The van is getting loaded up. As I say, all of this stuff heading for my fabulous daughter and her hubby. So yes, the cupboards are packed. They have got all of life's essentials. I think this one's been absolutely rammed full. Yeah, you name it, it's packed in. Crikey, got enough vegan mayo to feed a small army. But we're over there for about 5 or 6 weeks, and it's all based in and around Saint-Jean-d'Eau and Morzine. So and of course you've seen that fabulous area before already, so we're not we probably won't be doing too many films from there, but we'll certainly you can certainly join us for the trip down. In fact, I say us, it's actually just me, because Nicky has headed off. We flew her out there a week or a week and a half ago because the little one arrived 2 or 3 weeks early, so of course all the best laid plans for travelling over in time for a slow steady drive down France to the Alps to meet him were of course thrown up in the air. So Nicky's flown out there. She's getting lots of early cuddles, grandson cuddles, and I'm following. So I head off tomorrow with the van now all packed and into Newhaven, doing the Newhaven Dieppe ferry run. Hop over the water tomorrow morning, and fingers crossed, a nice smooth journey down to Saint-Jean-d'Eau and the Morzine area in the Alps. Might try, because of course I'm looking forward to cuddles, might try to do it in just one stop perhaps. It's about 610 miles from the coast down to the Alps, where our eldest lives. So thoroughly looking forward to the journey down, albeit on my lonesome, but of course I'll have you guys along for the journey as well. So as always, thanks for watching. Hope some of the fabulous trip down to Newhaven, the ferry, and then of course down through France will bring you some nice scenery as always, and I look forward to seeing you the other end in France. So not too many changes for this trip down. I've put Sygic truck, because we tried that last year for those trips, the app Sygic, SYGIC, and that did really well. Actually really like that app for motorhome travel, you know, put in your weights and your sizes and your height and all that. So I had an old iPad kicking around, which is an ancient old thing, but it still runs the app. So I've put it onto the iPad. I'm going to use that as my sat nav on the way down, so that'll be a good test for that. I modified the front bed here a bit. Now let me just undo that with one hand and lower it down slightly, just so it sits there on the thing, on the seat. it had a piece of steel there which held this belt, little seatbelt style catch, but it had a tiny piece of metal. It had about 4 or 5 screws, and because of the weight of the bed and all these fabulous UK roads, which, as you all know, shake you to bits, I thought it would need strengthening up. So I got a piece of steel from a company who cut you, can cut you any piece of steel in any thickness to size. And here's a couple of photos of the before and after, if you like. And the piece of steel that's now up there, which is now colossal, but certainly holds the weight of this bed. But I also took the chance as well, while it was off, of increasing the length of this tag, because we had added the mattress toppers, the Silent Night mattress toppers that some of you may have seen in the some of our other films, and in fact I'll put a link in the description below to them. But the standard mattress on this is about yay big, and then I've added 2 Silent Night. We started with 1, which was a really good difference. 2's absolutely fantastic. It's pure sleeping luxury, and there's 2 7cm Silent Night memory foam toppers on there now. So because I had obviously increased the depth of the bed, the catch still just about connected, but it was obviously under a bit of strain, so I've lengthened that with a bit of luggage strap, suitably strong luggage strap. And then the new piece of steel, which now fits all the way along there, I've cunningly disguised, if I turn that round, cunningly disguised with a chopped down tea towel of good old Tenby, our fabulous Tenby town. Cunningly disguised the steel underneath with a tea towel, cut down and shaped by some fabulous lady down the road, Carol, who's been travelling with us before to Croatia. You may have seen that a couple of years ago, seen our trip down to Croatia when Carol and Stephen accompanied us. But Carol's done some wizardry with her sewing machine. We've chopped up the tea towel, and so we've got a new addition to the roof of the van to cover up all that extra steel. So that's that change. Not much else we've changed in the van. Added a little bit of bling here and there. A few little more knickknacks from, in fact these 2 are relatively new, from some of our travels. But apart from that, she's pretty much the same, and she's also looking forward to getting back on the road because she hasn't been used for 3 or 4 weeks. She's also looking forward to getting back on the road and finding her way down to the good old Alps again. The documents are on board, the vehicle documents, the insurance, licenses, passports, you name it. The head torch is charged up. The mapping, Garmin mapping for some fabulous alpine walks is charged up. Of course, the resident sheep is coming along with us, and also very excited for the trip ahead. And you name it, it's been charging. We've got the TP-Link MiFi backup on its Velcro backing, and that, as you can see, is charging away. So I've now reactivated the TP-Link with my good old £25 for 100 gig. So that'll run for the rest of this month in April, and then we'll get another 100 gig in May for that 25 quid, which has proved absolutely fantastic. And a lot of you have seen our other films will know that it's been a pretty good solution for Wi-Fi. Can connect up to 10 devices, and it's been a very good solution for Wi-Fi and running the Amazon Fire Stick and getting all the things like iPlayer and ITVX and all those through the connection. So if you want to know a little bit more about that TP-Link, I'll put a link to the product in the description below. If any of you are still deliberating over how to do the MiFi Wi-Fi connection as you travel through Europe. And so she is full to the brim with diesel, full to the brim with AdBlue. Went across the Tesco's to fill up, which is about 10 miles away at Pembroke Dock, and all of my best laid rinsing off plans that had washed off the van were promptly covered in mud again. So Might give it a quick run over before we go tomorrow because it's supposed to be reasonable weather. But I think she's all ready to go. Tyres checked, up round 79.5 psi, 5.5 bar. Toilet chemicals replaced. Cables ready to go. Electric tested, gas tested, heating tested. So I think we've just about got everything set for travel. Fingers crossed we haven't forgotten anything. Well, look at that. Isn't that typical? Hasn't stopped raining since about October, and the day I set off for Newhaven on my lonesome, the sun comes out, but it's still very fresh. So we're loaded, even more stuff. Had a last minute emergency shop at Tesco's last night for more requests from my fabulous eldest daughter and hubby and grandson, and so I went off, got all that shopping, and we are now packed to the guns. The garage is absolutely rammed full, and we are heading for Newhaven. Look at that though, lovely. Another 5 or 6 weeks before we see that again. Hopefully it's a bit warmer when we get back, but as blue. Right, let's get on the road and enjoy the trip, guys. Well, in the shake of a lamb's tail, we're in Newhaven, and we had a little bit of rain on the way, but not too much, but it's still a cold old easterly wind. Looking forward to some 20-degree temperatures down in the Alps region. I thought I'd just show you as well the car park that is an option if you wanted to stay here overnight. What happened, I actually turned up at the gate here, and the guy in the little passport check-in booth there was still there. I got there about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and he sort of waved me up to the front line. I said, and I explained that I was due on the tomorrow ferry at 11, and he said, well, you could probably swap to tonight if you wanted to go over tonight because the space is. So after a quick visit to the office and a quick swap free of charge, I'm going to travel on the overnight. The overnight takes an extra hour. It's obviously a cheaper ferry if you book it as well. Leaves at 11 p.m. and therefore gets in French time at 5 a.m. So just one extra hour, 5 hour sailing. So it's an option anyway. It's certainly a cheaper option if you chose that from the start and booked the 11 p.m. from the start. But the alternative is, and what the plan originally was I'd seen on Park for Night that one or two people mentioned this car park just coming up here. So you come in to the port just off that roundabout there from the bridge, and you come in the entrance straight ahead of me there, if you remember the last time we came here or left from here. And then instead of coming straight over this bit and then up to the queue up, you can do a left here and then into this sort of gravelly car park, and that's available. The guy on the office said that would normally be a £5 to stay in here, but if you've got a sailing booked, then it's just a free of charge overnight stop. And as you can see, there's plenty of room to get any size vehicle in, towing or otherwise. Plenty of room to turn it and to park up in here, so that's the free spot if you wanted to do an overnight, or if you had a very early ferry, or even the one I was going for, the 11 a.m. That was the plan, to overnight here. There's a little station there and a train going a lot, so you'd probably get a little bit of train noise, but that would probably stop at night. But anyway, so I'm now in 3 or 4 hours be heading to France on the night ferry. Fantastic. He also said as well that if you do a left at the roundabout and then a left again on foot, he was quite happy for me to leave the van there, as you can see it right at the front there. And there's a pub over the other side of the estuary there, and then there's some of the usual suspects within walking distance, a KFC and a Mackie D's and all that sort of stuff. but he reckoned the pub was pretty good for grub if you fancied a stop. And check-in, I think, starts about 9:30 p.m, so plenty of time to do that if you arrive early like I did today. Very accommodating and very helpful staff here. Top service. And there we go, that's the terminal building. The moho's just over the other side of that for the check-in. And then there's the pub. So the Arc by the looks of it. So you're just basically on foot. You can come across the bridge there and a left again. And pass away a few hours with some nice pub grub apparently. And a good drop of beer if you fancy it. Well, apparently the guy in the ticket office said that the reduced rate for the night boat is because that's it just coming in there. So you've got to join in a row across overnight. Not quite sure I'm going to put the moho though. What do you reckon? Reckon it'll fit? Nice bit of evening sun as well. Walk round to the harbour entrance, or the port entrance. Plenty of fishermen, and the Hope Inn as well. That I think that might do. In fact, there's a moho parked up in the car park there, so that might do. If you have some grub in there, they might let you park overnight. Not sure, but that's another possibility if you're down this way. And then this big car park here, that's got a height barrier. In terms of getting into it, so, and of course signs saying no overnighting, but looks like perhaps the pub car park might be an option if you're down this way. Well, it's about 9:30 or 10:30 French time, so we'll be boarding shortly, hopefully, being let through the security gates. And next stop, Dieppe. Well, that's it for the night, and all the way from the main road, the main drag just north of Dijon, I got to before I had enough driving for the day, about 330 odd miles from 5:30 this morning, but signposted all the way from the main road into this little village where we are in the middle of nowhere. Follow the signs, that's the one to look out for, Aire De Camping, and let's show you where we are. Really nice little spot. And I'll also find out the name of the village because I can't remember it for the life of me. If we get bored, a very nice climbing frame there. There's a bit of a multi-use games area here as well. And then Over the back here, we've got the little village Aire. It sort of sits raised up, the village is sort of down below us there. Lovely little village driving through it, some twisty windy streets, but okay for the 7.4 for Resi the Moho. And then the village, Savigny Le Sec. Savigny Le Sec. One to stick in your possible stop-offs. As I say, we're north of Dijon by about 20k, I guess, something like that, as I'm drifting in towards the Alps. But there you go, 3 or 4, and these are facilities they've got. Got a rubbish drop there, got grey water drop. They've got toilets, 2 toilets there, and it's an honesty box, so it's not completely free air. So there's an idea of what they're asking for, the village is asking for, which I was more than happy to contribute to, because I've reloaded a bit of fresh, got rid of the grey, changed the toilet cassette, and I'm going to stay here the night as well. So the only thing they haven't got is electric, but obviously gas is fine, and the solar obviously in this weather is fine. So I've popped in €7 into the honesty box for an overnighter for water and no trailer. I haven't bought Peggy the scooter, so just the €7. You put your registration number on a piece of paper and wrap it around your money, and popped it in the honesty box. Great idea. And as I say, paying either €3 if you just wanted to do the black water and fresh water swap, or if you want to stay overnight, €7. It's a very reasonable contribution to the village funds. Still blowing a bit as well, and it's still there's still a bit of that easterly from when we left Tenby, so it's still a wee bit fresh as well. But there we go, plenty of room here. As you can see, the car park's pretty level. I parked sideways, it just allowed me to get a little bit more level, albeit I adjusted the VB a little bit, just had to drop the back down a bit to get it completely levelled out. And just had a very welcome cuppa. So that was, for an idea of distance, that was about 5:30 I got out of the port this morning, having swapped to that overnight 11 PM ferry last night that they offered me. So we got out of the port, bit of a delay going through customs on the way out, so about 5:30, 5:40 actually left, and then I stopped at about 3:15 in the afternoon. So that's about 330 miles. I've had 2 or 3 stops, a couple of cups of coffee stops, you know, all the usual sorts, filled up with diesel. So that's not bad really, you know, 5:30, 20 to 6 through to 3:30. If you wanted to go for a bit of mileage, then it's certainly doable. You know, that was what about 9.5 hours, something like that. That was telling the sat nav to do no tolls, so include motorways but only if they're non-paying, and it took me on a couple of short sections, and then it takes you off just before the next pay booth for the péage, for the toll, French toll motorways. So yeah, that's not even with toll roads, so that's a lot of it was those lovely sort of route nationales, or I suppose our A road equivalent that you'll have seen on some of that footage as we were travelling down through France. Some lovely villages and towns that you go through, and of course you'd miss all that if you were on the motorway, which to be fair, motorways could be like any other motorway in the whole of the world, so it's nice to stay off them and to look at some of those lovely villages. And the roads were incredible. I mean, most of that footage that you've seen just now, that was like sort of 11, 12, 1 o'clock, middle of the day, and yet there's literally, the roads are deserted. It's amazing. It's lovely driving on those French roads and staying away from the motorway, so thoroughly recommend it if you've got a little bit extra time to enjoy the villages. Right, let's go and sort out a cuppa. Well, 7 AM, the village of Savigny Le Sec, which was where we spent last night, at the top of the village. Absolutely lovely. absolutely dead quiet, so don't want to make too much noise, which is why I'm almost whispering, because it seems so quiet here. But look, that was the sign I was talking about. So all the way through the village, directing you to the Aire De Camping car, right back from the main road. So really, really well set out. Just another great example of how France look after motorhomes and guide you into stopovers. So a fantastic night, and a sort of overcast day, but a really quiet night it was in that lovely little Aire De Camping. And we're off to the final leg today. Hopefully, about 300 kilometres to do today into those fabulous Alps. The only hiccup was not being able to use the tablet, because I tried to use it, but it was a bit too laggy, so it just wasn't downloading the data quick enough for the route. So you were sort of passing things about a kilometre ago that eventually hit the screen. So I'm back on the good old iPhone, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be fine. Well, a stop off, quick cuppa, and look at that, eh? We are nearly in May, but we're high up and up now, just coming into the Alps to get the last of the snow. Fantastic. Yeah, that is definitely showing about 3 or 4 degrees on the van. So despite the onset of spring, and indeed summer not that far off, then still some of this lovely white stuff up in the mountains. What a fab spot, isn't it? And of course another fantastic stop off lay-by area provided by the French authorities. Well, I had to stop for a sec to show you that. Look at that. What a little park up just above Lake Geneva there, down in the distance. Geneva will be just off to the right there, about 20 or 30k away. Look at that beautiful skyline. Fantastic. Wow, beautiful. Lac Le Mans, as they call it in France. A lovely panoramic view of what we're seeing there. Mont Blanc, obviously the highest in Europe, sort of directly over there. Don't know how much you can see in this light, a little bit dull, and as you can see, it's odd wisps of snow as well. Stunning scenery. Might even be lucky to see an eagle or two, eh? And of course the chamois. Chamois. Never seen one of those, they'd be good to see wild. Well, one more turning to go, 801 miles, door to door. And I'll leave you at this film with a fabulous, the river that flows down past Morzine in this beautiful part of the world of the Alps. And I wish you a very fond farewell until our next film. Thank you very much indeed for being with me, as Nicky wasn't of course, being with me from Tenby to Morzine. And it's been great having you along, and we very much look forward to being back together with Nicky, with the little grandson of course, with my fabulous daughter and her hubby, and we'll see you again on the next episode. Take care guys, and thanks for watching. Bye now.